Happy Hump Day Wednesday, everybody. Real quick, I just wanted to jump on here and give you the Daily Chase. Today's Daily Chase is entitled, Jesus Affected Three Worlds When He Said, Forgive. When Jesus prayed, Father, forgive them, his words reached back in time to unfold the entire history of man before the Lord's incarnation. They covered the present world of his day and reached ahead to the world that would exist after his return to heaven. Now, 2,000 years or more after Jesus uttered those words, we are covered with divine forgiveness and pardon. The day God forgave, flesh was affected, angels were The day God forgave, flesh was affected, angels were affected, hell was affected, demons were affected, and the devil himself was bound. No matter how bad your life has been, the river of God's forgiveness will flow again into the cold, bitter, and hardened valleys of your heart when you come into the presence of forgiveness. When forgiveness is present, the enemy of your soul has to back up without a word being said to him. His hands are tied and he cannot work in the presence of forgiveness. Forgiveness puts the handcuffs of heaven on hell itself. Have you ever heard someone ask, how can I forgive someone who doesn't ask for that forgiveness? The answer should be, ask Jesus. Show me one man or woman kneeling at the cross of Calvary and looking up into the face of the dying Savior to say, forgive us. According to the Bible's scores of eyewitnesses, no one was asking Jesus for forgiveness that day. It just didn't happen. He said, forgive them anyway. No one asked for it. No one negotiated for it. The battle-hardened Roman soldiers driving the nails and the hard-hearted religious hypocrites who put the Lord into their hands of execution could have cared less at the moment whether he forgave them or not. The word forgiveness didn't come up in the usual chatter at crucifixion time. The cross should always remind us that forgiveness is not cheap. What Jesus gives you is not a gimmick to give you goosebumps. It is not the product of a pep rally or some seminar-induced positive mental attitude that you can prime like some moral pump. The kind of forgiveness Jesus brings to our lives triggers radical reconstruction of the human heart. When forgiveness is released, there is incredible power. The hand of God shattered the boundaries in every known dimension through the power of release when Jesus forgave. Every one of us must deal with certain circumstances in life that cannot be changed. Perhaps Peter the fisherman wished that he could have borrowed the classic education Paul received at the feet of the renowned Jewish teacher Gamaliel, but he would always remain Peter from Galilee. For centuries, Christians have remembered Peter as the man who was unlearned, but who astounded the teachers of the law who took note that he had been with Jesus. Jesus transformed the life of Mary Magdalene, the prostitute, but she still probably wished that she could undo the mistakes and the pain of her past. She couldn't. Mary faced the same choice we all face. She could remain a slave to unforgiveness by clinging to her anger and resentment toward the men who abused her and the people who rejected her. Or she could accept God's forgiveness, choose to forgive, and begin a life of freedom. We know the choice Mary made. What about you? That's today's Daily Chase. See you next time.